So we finally have gotten some sort of idea as to why there were so many rumors about FPO getting canceled, getting rescheduled. We finally get the end result, and here it is. So the DGPT just posted on their Twitter a press release announcing that they'll be adjusting their schedule and media plans to protect the competitive fairness of FPO. And I was definitely not foreseeing this to be the actual outcome. I kind of thought they were just going to accept Natalie Ryan playing because they just don't have the financial resources to really deal with the litigation. But this is not what happened. They have actually canceled about 4 or 5 events on the tour. And as of right now, they have stated they adjusted the schedule, but the adjustment is still pretty much like canceling and hopefully getting a new event that will hopefully replace it that same weekend. But we do not know what that looks like. It is such short notice, but there's no guarantee that these events will actually occur on the weekends that people plan it to be. And let's say you're a professional player that has to have certain accommodations for that particular weekend and you are playing an event outside of the state that you were planning on going. Like, do you even have the ability to do that? I don't know. But they say that they are the subject of last-minute litigation that is harmful to the tour, aka the Natalie Ryan lawsuits that have happened in 2 states now, Minnesota and California. And they stated that even the FPO divisions have been canceled in these certain states. They're definitely working on making a replacement for these, but we just don't know what that looks like. And I think it's very hard to have 2 tour events basically concurrently and last minute. So I just do not know how this is going to look. Are they going to have 2 separate camera crews? There's just a lot going on here that it has a lot of complications than having the exact same event with FPO starting earlier in the day and MPO starting later. There's just a lot more in this than just playing another round at another course. There's so much more logistics that need to be figured out, especially in this last minute scenario. And I'll just read the direct quote because I think it does definitely tell you the information about where they are coming from. So competitive fairness is the underpinning of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, the professional disc golf industry, and all elite competitive sports worldwide. The DGPT is committed to the future of the FPO division, and in order to protect competitive fairness for the division, these changes are necessary at this time. We will not waver on the PDGA gender eligibility policy as we've adapted it for the FPO division. I also want to affirm the concept that you can simultaneously respect and support transgender people and support competitive fairness for the FPO division. They are not mutually exclusive concepts, and the DGPT will continue to show respect for all those people involved while thinking creatively about long-term solutions for this challenging issue. So I think that was pretty eloquently stated. They're not going to allow Natalie Ryan to play, but they also were not going to let the FPO division be treated quote-unquote unfairly if they did allow Natalie Ryan to play or any other transgender athlete. And they went on to state how hard it is to defend their case with a emergency last-second appeal. So in order to limit this, they're just removing themselves from those events in those states. And then Jeff Spring ended it by saying, we basically have limited resources, we have to use them wisely, and if they truly are listening to the players that are voicing themselves so strongly about the issue, then they have to make a very concentrated change, and this is what they've decided to do. So let's go over the events that are changed. Mid-American, no change. And now we get on to Ledgestone. It is officially canceled. I really cannot believe that. I think if you are any FPO player, you are definitely upset about that. Like, you may have also very strong opinions about Natalie Ryan playing, but not being able to play one of the top tier events has to be a pretty big blow. But they did state they have scheduled a DGPT Elite Plus event that same weekend, but they did state it is likely, not definitely, to occur, and that still will have the same live and post-produced coverage that you would get with any other event. But I still have major questions about if that is likely to actually occur, because that is certainly difficult and a lot of undertaking. Outer Wild, no change. D-Glow, canceled. Still cannot believe this. This is madness. Then we get to the American Flying Disc Open. I don't really know too much about this, but basically they stated it's not canceled, but they basically stated it's not going to be canceled like the D-Glow, but it will be a non-DGPT event and it will not be awarded any points. Same with the Discmania Open. I don't really know what that means. So are the FPO players going to be allowed to play this event just kind of for fun? And if you're not getting like money or points, then would you even do the event? Like, I don't think so. The MVP playoff has been canceled. And like I stated before, they do tend on rescheduling. the playoff event and most of these other events, but there is no guarantee of that happening. So we really will just have to see what comes of it, what this future world of disc golf will look like, because this is a pretty small sport. I know I just went to Kansas City Wide Open and it looked massive. There were so many fans, so much support, and so much love. So while this is a small sport, they still have so much support coming for them. And I think what they have managed to do with live coverage and with the professionalism of this tour is really outstanding. I'm really glad that they're trying to figure out a long-term solution and not just a short fix. But I think with Natalie Ryan being the only transgender athlete, I personally would much prefer these events be retained, allow Natalie Ryan to play, and we get a lot more consistency with the FPO division. And then maybe next season or future seasons, and gather up the funds to determine a specific route of action to combat these lawsuits, because right now you are just really hindering yourself for the future of the sport if you're not allowing the pros to play in these elite tier tournaments. And these rescheduled events may be cool, they may be really awesome, but there's a high likelihood that they won't even exist. So I have a lot of major concerns about what that is going to look like, but only time will tell. Let me know what you guys think. This is some massive, crazy news. I cannot believe it actually happened. I know we saw that post from Cap Merch that was like, yeah, I don't even know what to do with the FPO division being canceled. And everyone was like, no, that's not going to happen. That's crazy. This looks pretty close to canceled. Like, I definitely think that these events will occur, at least to like some degree, but it will not look like you would expect it to look like. And I think the entire rest of the season is going to be very awkward and weird, and there's just going to be a lot of things going on for these players because they're already working like week to week. Like they do not have a ton of disposable income. So for all these events to be canceled, I really just don't know what you're going to do. There's a lot here to unpack. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe. Wild Runs signing out. Peace.